How to turn yourself into a business. This is the one-person business model. To help you analyze whether this video is right for you, I'm going to be giving you the core idea of this whole long video up front, and I'll be outlining who I am and showing you my digital resume so that you can figure out whether this video is worth your time. It's now possible to make money by being yourself. You can now turn yourself into a business. And then you just do what you feel like doing and money will come to you. So here you are before, doing your thing, doing what you feel like doing, but no money comes to you. After this video, you keep doing your thing, you make a couple tiny little tweaks, but you're still you and you're still doing what you love to do, and then money will come to you. This is called a one-person business. You no longer need loads of employees to make lots of money. It's exactly what people like Iman Gadzhi, Hamza, Ali Abdal, Dan Coe, and thousands more are doing. Those are the most famous examples of one-person businesses, or pretty much one-person businesses. They have a team, but if you remove their team, they would still make a lot of money. But they're not the only examples. In fact, 36,984 firms make $1 million plus per year revenue with 0 employees, and that was in 2017. I bet you that number would be 10x what it is now. There are tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people that are making $1 million plus per year with 0 employees. This is very possible, and this video will lay out the 3-part system that you can use to do this, which summarized is do, share, solve. Now, who is this guy and is this video worth your attention? My name's Kirby, this is my digital resume. First of all, I've been running a one-person business for 5 years. In most business careers, 5 years is nothing. You're still just getting started. But in the internet and in the online business space, because so many people come and go very quickly, 5 years is generally considered a decent length of time. So I've been around for a little bit of time. I've ran 3 7-figure businesses, which means $100,000 per month. I've got 500,000 YouTube subscribers. I helped Hamza go from $20,000 a month to $200,000 a month in 10 days. I helped Rian Doris go from 0 to 100,000 YouTube subscribers in 6 months. MrBeast paid me $10,000 to coach him. I work at Skool with Hormozi and Sam Ovens. I helped Steve Hoyne make $165,000 in 10 days. Brandon Dion make $200K in 7 days. Leon Hendrick make $120K revenue in 10 days. Jenny Hoyos make $36K in 7 days. Adam Erhardt make $50K in 14 days. Zayn Meyer go from complete beginners to $10,000 a month in 3 months, and he's now at like $40K a month now. I travel full time. I do whatever I feel like, and money just seems to come to me. It is the weirdest thing on earth. This is a screenshot of my Airbnb reservations where you can see where I've been. Medellin, Colombia, LA, Vegas, Bali, Lisbon, Dubrovnik, which is Croatia, Toronto, Canada, Hawaii, Australia here, Koh Lanta in Thailand, Chiang Mai in Thailand, LA again, Whistler in Canada, Vancouver, Toronto, Oxfordshire, UK, Cheltenham, UK, Bath, UK. And this is an updated screenshot, which is Xkazoo, which is in Costa Rica, Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, Malibu, obviously LA, Marina del Rey, LA, Nice, south of France, Barracudas, which is also south of France in the mountains. Absolutely beautiful there. Dubai, and we're back to the screenshot that covers above. So I'm able to move around, and money just seems to come from me doing what I love. I have no formal employees, it's just me. And yeah, that's the moral of the story. Now, I understand that your goal is financial freedom, and in order to reach your goal, you need to use your time wisely. That was actually the mission statement from the first business that I made, that made me my first $1 million, which is here, Time Theory. Time Theory's mission is to help people use their time wisely. So I really believe that that's a pretty important thing, that you use your time wisely. So if you don't believe this video is you using your time wisely, please click off. Just don't watch this video. If you do believe that there's a chance you'll learn one thing or a small insight, or just get a reframe, or just learn one tiny little thing in this video, probably is worth your attention. So lock in and stick with me and enjoy the ride. Now, how is it possible to make money by being yourself? Well, you are a human, and humans generally do things unless you're just lying in bed all day. And some of those things that you do are valuable. Whether you believe it or not, some of the things that you are already doing simply because you like doing them are valuable. And people will pay you money for the things that you are already doing. You just haven't yet created the systems to capture any of the value that you create. So you end up doing a lot of things, but you don't make any money as a result of you doing all of those things. Business is very simply about generating value and then capturing some of it. And with a couple of tiny tweaks, you can keep doing what you have been doing, but now people will give you money for doing them. Now, these are 2 just tiny examples. There's thousands of ways that you could be adding value, but here's just 2 examples that may fit the description for you. For example, you're watching this video, and maybe you're taking notes. Those notes that you're taking are valuable because they take a 30-minute video and they condense it so that somebody else can learn from it in 3 minutes. Of course that's valuable. Saving people time is valuable. So if you took these notes and you post them on Twitter and LinkedIn, then people will pay, or Twitter and LinkedIn will pay you, first of all, for AdSense, for posting the stuff on their platform. Plus, you'll build an audience who could later pay you for more notes or whatever else you want to monetize in the future. So you are already watching this video. You may already be taking those notes. With a couple tiny tweaks, posting it on Twitter, you can then get paid by Twitter and build an audience that you can later monetize. So you're pretty much already doing the hard work. You've sat down and you're watching this video and you're paying attention. That's the hard part. 99% of the population aren't watching this video. You're doing the hard part. There's just an easy little tweak that you can add on to the end of it that will allow you to start creating content, build an audience, and monetize later on. Second example. Say you have a gym habit. You've tried many gym routines before finding one that was sustainable for you. If you now have a friend who's never been to the gym before, there's lots that you could teach him to speed up his results. Just by you going to the gym for a year, you've built up knowledge, you've built up habits, you've built up so much valuable stuff that you don't realize could easily be converted into money with just a couple tiny tweaks. These are 2 tiny examples of the dozen things that you're already doing or have already done that are valuable. This video contains the blueprint to turning the things you naturally do because you enjoy doing them into freedom dollars. Now, why is this possible now? This sounds too good to be true. What's changed? Well, before, the world was disconnected. Here, in 1995, just 0.4% of the world population had access to the internet. And 10 years before that, nobody had access to the internet. So think about how disconnected people were. You had no idea. You would never even hear about somebody that lived across the other side of the planet to you. Now, because of the internet, you have access to, after 66.2% of the global population. There's now 5 billion people that have access to the internet. So before, the economy was very disconnected. Now it's incredibly disconnected. So this is a visual example of the old economy. Here you were in your little village, and you could trade goods and services with people that maybe were in a 3-mile radius to you. And that was it. If you had skills and insights that were valuable to people on maybe 10 miles away from you, or maybe 100 miles away from you, it would be impossible for you to monetize those skills and those insights that you have because you are so constricted to the people in the local area. Whereas now, in the new economy, we're completely connected. We're connected with almost the entire planet. You can now reach people that are on a completely different continent to you, that are on a completely different time zone to you, that speak a different language to you. It's absolutely insane how drastic this change is. James Dale Davidson and Lord William Rees-Mogg call this the cybernetic age in their book, The Sovereign Individual. And this change, this shift from disconnected to connected, has caused a fundamental, global, cataclysmic change in human behavior, specifically in how humans generate value and how money is transferred. And this is of massive importance to understand as it describes a change in something vital to the human experience, which is how we make money. Such a fundamental thing of how we generate money has now shifted because of this huge revolution in the way the world works. This means that almost all advice that applied to your parents' generation no longer applies to us. Because in your parents' generation, this is what the economy would look like. You could only trade goods and services of the people within a 3-mile radius from you. Now you can trade goods and services with people across the planet. And that has changed everything in the way that money is generated. Traditional education system is dying and online education is booming. So before, in the old economy, there was a list of maybe 20 different jobs that you could get, and that was it. You could be a factory worker, a secretary, a teacher, or a salesperson. Generally, you would do what your dad did, or you would do what your parents did, and that was it. There wasn't much variance. But now, because of the internet, there is a near infinite amount of jobs for you to have. For example, think of an accountant. Think of a traditional old school accountant. What traits, what characteristics, what behaviors can you imagine them to have? All accountants back in the day were quite similar. You can imagine who they are. You can imagine what beliefs they have. You can imagine what habits they have. Being an accountant is quite a constrained job. You have to fit certain criteria and be a certain kind of person. Otherwise, you're not a very good accountant. Now, in the new economy, imagine a YouTuber. Which traits, characteristics, and behaviors can you imagine a YouTuber to have? Well, now it's more difficult, because now there's YouTubers like Logan Paul, and then there's YouTubers like Hamza. Now there's YouTubers like myself, and there's YouTubers like, I don't know, Kylie Jenner, or what's that guy with the makeup? Anyway, I'm not getting into that. The point is, YouTuber is such a diverse array of jobs. There's gaming YouTubers, there's educational YouTubers, there's business YouTubers, there's football YouTubers, there's finance YouTubers. There's all these different types of YouTubers. And then compare it to an accountant. So now, because the internet has opened up a global economy, the variance in each job role has massively expanded, because before you had to pick one of 20 jobs, then morph yourself into what that job required of you. This caused you to suppress your intrinsic desires and just play a character that your job dictated that you were. Now, you no longer have to morph yourself into anything. If you are ruthlessly yourself, you'll find a job that fits your intrinsic desires perfectly. And the reason this is true, because now, because you're connected to almost everyone in the entire planet, if you are just yourself, if you do the things you love, if you follow your obsessions, chances are there will be other people out there, out of the 5 billion humans that you're connected to, that will find value in what it is that you do and will be willing to pay you for that value. That is the reason why YouTubers can just be themselves. That's their job. Their job is to be themselves. And because if they do it for a long enough time frame, they'll find the audience of other people out of the 5 billion people that just love and find so much value in what they do that they're just able to be themselves. Whereas before, because you're only connected with a few thousand people, the likelihood that you were going to find that group of people that just loved you for who you were and found value in what you naturally do is so unlikely, because you're only connected with a few thousand people. But thanks to the internet, a few billion people, you can be yourself, and there will be people that find value in what you do. And this is exactly what's happened to me. I now spend 5 years just traveling around, like following my curiosity, doing things that I enjoy doing, following my energy and trying to do more of things that give me more energy and less of things that give me less energy. And money just comes to me. More money than I know what to do with just comes to me. How do you make the most of this opportunity? Well, after 5 years of flailing around trying to figure it out, I've synthesized the process for how anyone can do this into 3 simple steps. I call it the Synthesizer Framework, or the high-ticket Synthesizer Framework. Now, there are many debates over what is the best path to reach financial freedom. And in life, there is always 2 paths. There is the indirect path and the direct path. And the direct path that I have found to financial freedom is to become a high-ticket synthesizer. It didn't have a name back then, but that's how I did it. I was a synthesizer, which I'll explain what it is in a second. And this first business that I started that generated over $1 million in revenue was me just being a high-ticket synthesizer. That was the process that I followed. But, alas, upon reaching financial freedom, you'll realize it wasn't what you wanted. It's boring. Seriously, it's boring. But, luckily, high-ticket synthesizing doesn't just solve the money problem. It solves the purpose problem. That is why I'm so bullish on this. This is why I will always be a synthesizer or a high-ticket synthesizer. Not only does it generate a lot of money, but it gives you purpose and it gives meaning to your life, which I find incredibly fulfilling. So, step 1, do. In the new economy, you make money by diving deep into the things you're intrinsically motivated by, because at the bottom of those interests are insights and skills that can be used to build a business. If you go deep enough into anything that you're passionate about, there will be valuable insights and skills that can be used to generate money. So what you want to do is solve your own problems. From first principles, all humans suffer. That's why Buddhism, and there's quotes that say, life is suffering. And we label the things that cause us suffering problems. Then we take actions in an attempt to solve the problems we believe cause us suffering. And sometimes we figure out solutions to our problems, and these solutions are valuable. This is why we don't need to try to create value. We automatically create value in an attempt to ease our own suffering. We create value by accident. It is simply a byproduct of our natural desires. And humans come in all different shapes and sizes, but we have more similarities than differences. So if you find a solution to one of your problems, chances are it will work for some other people too. Humans are pretty similar. So, because you have pain, you try to ease your pain by finding solutions to problems, and sometimes you make progress. If you look at where you are 5 years ago, in some areas of your life now, you have made progress to where you were 5 years ago, and that progress you have made comes in the form of solutions to the things you define as problems, which in reality is just the pain that you're feeling, the suffering that you're experiencing. And other people, out of the 5 billion people that you're connected with, there's got to be at least one of them that will find value in the solution that you have created. So you need to do what you love, because not only now can you do what you love and make money, you must do what you love. Otherwise you can't compete. In the new economy, you must do what you love. Otherwise you won't be able to compete with the people that do love the thing that you're competing on. Doing what you love is the most reliable way to get great at something. And when you get great at something, that's when money really pours to you. Because if you love something, the amount of just raw calories and raw energy and raw hours that is put into this thing is phenomenal. And that, of course, generates you insights and skills that can be monetized. But here's the disclaimer here. Up until now, this may all be sounding too good to be true. You can't just be yourself. You have to be the best version of yourself, especially if you want to make significant amounts of money. If you're just chilling, gaming, chilling in bed, going on social media, watching a lot of YouTube videos, not that much money will come to you. If you are able to be the best version of yourself, then money will flow to you, because that's when you really start adding value. That's why being a synthesizer is the best personal development tool, because it links the money you create with how developed or how quickly you are developing as a human. So what's better, instead of just pursuing curiosity, is more like pursuing mastery. And I think that pursuing mastery, I can speak especially to men, because I'm a man, but maybe this applies to women. Pursuing mastery is, I believe, one of the most reliable and efficient things you can do to become fulfilled. You know, we've talked about suffering being a big problem, and I think that is a problem because that's where the way we've been evolutionarily programmed. Because if we were all just happy, we wouldn't make much progress and we wouldn't solve problems for the other people around us. So the reason that we've been able to go from living in caves to living to where we are now with the technology that we have now is because humans' default state is like 1 to 10% unhappy. If you leave a human in a room with no phone, it's uncomfortable, it's boring, you start to get anxious thoughts. It's not a very comfortable experience. So humans work and pursue mastery to try shut off the mind to ease the suffering that they're feeling, right? This is why people love porn and sex and skiing and video games and music so much, because it quietens the anxious thoughts that the mind is often plagued with. But the problem with a lot of these things is that they're beneficial short run. They give you a quiet mind, like skiing or gaming. But long run, they don't just add to your life. Like skiing's kind of expensive. If anything, if you just constantly ski, you're not going to have much money. And if you constantly game, it's not going to benefit your life in the long run. I found work to be the most reliable and predictable way to quieten the mind, especially doing work that you love. It gets you into the flow state reliably and consistently, which decreases the suffering that you experience in life. So that's why I love work so much. And that's why I believe pursuing mastery is a really great way for you to become fulfilled. It also fills you with pride because it forces you to do difficult things and become a better version of yourself, which makes you feel proud of who you are as a person, and it makes you feel strong. So pursuing mastery is great as an antidote to the depression or the suffering that many humans, myself included, experience when left alone with not much to do. And that's why I mentioned financial freedom earlier as boring. Like, I got there and I realized I never had to work again, and I thought I would be happy. I thought I'd be like a cat purring in the sun. But alas, I was not a cat purring in the sun. I was an angry cat. I was a sad cat. I was a bored cat. So here I am, back to work. And I think that pursuing mastery is what everybody should be doing. Step 2. So to summarize, you do things that you love to do, that you're intrinsically motivated by. And step number 2, you share. So every human on earth has a personal brand, but most personal brands suck. Chances are you're viewed by the people that know you as just another guy. You know, you're just one of the guys that are in your town, and you're ignored by most, you're liked by some, and you're loved by few. And you're only known in your town. Like, who out of your town knows your name? Maybe a few people, you know, family, friends, and people you met when you were traveling and that sort of stuff. But chances are there's not that many people who know who you are. So every human has a personal brand, but most personal brands suck. But this is a mistake, because a valuable personal brand gets you money, status, and leverage. And it's the only thing that you are guaranteed to compound for life. Unless you change your name is going to stick with you until you die, and after you die on your tombstone. So that name that you have is your personal brand, and the associations people have with that name is your personal brand. And that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. So if we know it's important, and we know it's going to stick with you for the rest of your life, investing in your personal brand may be something that's worth doing. Even ignoring the internet. Even if you were in the old economy, investing in your personal brand is worth doing. You want to build a good reputation for yourself, right? You want to be liked, you want to be known, you want to be trusted, you want to be viewed as beneficial to society. That's what building a good personal brand is. But thanks to the connection that we now have, the importance of this has now massively increased. Your personal brand dictates your status, income, and connections, and the quality of your personal brand is the difference between a good life and a bad life. Because chances are you want to be liked, you want money, you want friends. All of that comes dependent on the quality of your personal brand. And content is the language of the internet. You can't create money. You can create the desire within people to give you money. You're not the bank. You can't print money. The way you get money is by other people to give you money, and the way you control, the part about that you can control, because you can't control other people giving you money. This is lessons from Stoicism. But you can control the creation of a desire within people to give you money. You see, humans naturally want to keep their resources. It's very rare that someone's just going to wake up in the morning and think, I want to give you some money. Humans generally want to keep their resources. They want to keep their money. So if you don't create the desire within people to give you money, then no desire will exist. But in order to create the desire, you must first contact and communicate with them. If nobody knows who you are, they definitely won't have a desire to give you money. And content is the language of the internet. And I don't just mean content like YouTube videos or articles or podcasts. Any way for you to reach people through the internet comes through the form of content. If you run ads, if you do direct outreach, it's all just content. Ads is just content that you pay for the distribution. Reaching out to people is just content in a private one-on-one format. You get attention through content. You need to be making content, because some of the things that you want in life you can't get yourself, because you can't create money. Other people have to give you money. And if you want other people to give you money, they have to first know about you. And the way they know about you is through content. And then when they know about you, you have to create the desire within them to give you money. And the way you do that is through creating content. So you should be creating content. If you want to survive in this new economy, start creating content. And again, it doesn't just have to be YouTube videos. Start with Twitter, start with LinkedIn, start just by reaching out to people. That is content, right? And there is so much out there on the specifics of content creation. But the very first thing is just being public, getting out there. Ask yourself, in how many places am I giving people the opportunity to receive any of my value in the last week? How many places on the internet? If somebody was looking to receive value from you, which people aren't, but if there was, where could they find your value? How many places? How many people have you reached out to? How many pieces of content have you created? On the internet, in what places could people receive your value? If the answer is 0 or close to 0, then of course you're not going to be making money. To make money, you have to provide value. And if there's no places on the internet anybody can receive your value, then of course you're not going to make money. but you want to be active, be public, leave a comment. The habit is more important than the actual results. To start with, just get in the habit of making content in any way, reaching out to people, running ads, creating content, YouTube videos, whatever. But not all content is equal. We want to employ the strategy of preeminence, which basically means to give. Goodwill is the foundation of a great personal brand, and this applies in the old economy and the new economy. In the old economy, if you help people out more than you get helped, you build goodwill. People will like you and appreciate you. It's as simple as that. Help people more than you are helped. Give people more value than you take. That's it. That's the habit that we all want to be getting into, creating goodwill, giving more than we take. It's the best habit to get into in life. Everyone will like you more. You'll make way more money. It's just the best habit to get into. You also want to avoid the dancing monkey trap. So I started a free community that helps creators with 100,000 subscribers monetize their audience. It's skool.com/monetize. And in that community, I did a survey asking people these two questions. Number one, how many subscribers do you have? And number two, how much money do you make? And surprisingly, there was no correlation between audience size and income. More subscribers does not mean more money. The quality of your audience matters far more than the quantity of people in your audience. Not all views are equal. Education over entertainment. Massive lesson here. YouTube channels and businesses are weighing machines, not voting machines. This is a quote from Warren Buffett, I believe, where he says that in the short run, the market is a voting machine. It just determines price based on popularity. Long run, it's a weighing machine, and it determines price based on the value of the actual company. So you want to build your YouTube channel not to be popular, but to be heavy, to be actually valuable. The hard part is ignoring the desire to grow fast, which tempts you into getting votes and not increasing weight. So you want to provide insights to scale, more insights per second, more attention and trust. But the packaging and the positioning of your content is very important. You want to find viral packaging, which means how you say something is more important than what you say. The packaging is the product. So look for what's already working, then do the same, but 1% different. You can look for patterns in other people's content. If you haven't uploaded many videos, find people whose channel you like, and then find patterns in their most popular videos. But also look for what's missing. If you just copy what's working, you'll look like everyone else. So look for gaps in the market. Fill an unfulfilled demand. Create content only you can make. And the positioning that you have, who you are, is more important than what you say. The extent to which somebody will listen to you is determined by how they view you or who they think you are and how important, how valuable they think your words may be. Now, if you have no credibility, you want to credibility hack. This is what I did when I started my YouTube channel. I was some 18-year-old guy. Why would anybody listen to me? So I started making videos about Stoicism. I didn't say, listen to me. I said, listen to Marcus Aurelius. He was the emperor of Rome. He was a very powerful man. This is what he had to say, and I credibility hacked off of him. So if you don't have credibility, leverage other people's credibility. It could be science, could be credible figures, it could be books, it could be anything. But just leverage other people's credibility to get your credibility. And over time, you want to build a personal monopoly. You don't want to be better, you want to be different. Be the only person who does what you do, and authenticity is how you remove that competition. So very simply, start and then learn. Pick one platform, the one that you consume the most, pick one deadline, and make one piece of content. Stop consuming, start creating. And number 3, solve. Start with done for you, then done with you, then do it yourself. This is how you make money over time. You make money by solving problems. Start solving problems by doing it for people, then do it with them, then let them do it themselves. So done for you, actually delivering the services yourself or using staff or contractors to do the work, then done with you, doing some of the work and giving the client some of the work. Then it goes to one-on-one coaching, then group coaching, then online programs. Start with done for you because it's the easiest to sell. And in the beginning, you need money and you have lots of time. So you start with the easiest thing to sell. Then when more and more people are interested in what you have to sell and you stop having time to deliver to them, you over time transition to more scalable models of done with you, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and then online programs. The toolkit you want to have is Calendly, Stripe, and Skool. Calendly will allow you to schedule calls. You want to be getting on calls with as many people as humanly possible. That's how you'll learn about the market to figure out what it is that you can sell. And that's also how you'll come up with ideas for content, because you'll realize that you have insights that other people find valuable through speaking with people. So you can get Calendly, which is free to speak with people. Stripe is how you process payments to receive money. And Skool is where you build your online business. So I have two groups. It's skool.com/synthesizers, which you can see as an example of how you can actually apply this model above, and skool.com/monetize, which is only for creators with 100K plus subscribers. So if you don't have that, don't apply to this one, apply to this one, and you'll sort of see how all of this stuff works. By the way, both of these are fully free. I have nothing to sell you. And you don't want to be a synthesizer, you want to be a high-ticket synthesizer. So unless you have a huge audience, it's better to go high-ticket, increase your prices, and then just find a way to make your services valuable enough to justify your products. And if you ever charge high prices and people aren't happy that they paid you, give them a refund. It's not a good idea to be keeping people's money who don't want you to have their money. So charge high prices, find a way to justify the high prices through insane amounts of value. And if you're unable to provide it, give people a refund. So you want to learn sales calls. Alex Hormozi put out a tweet that says it takes only 20 hours of focused effort to get decent at anything. The problem is people wait years before they start their first hour. And Alex Becker, who's now a 100 centi millionaire, put out this tweet. About 40 to 80 hours working on sales calls, building sales call funnels is enough to make you good. Then this skill shits money nonstop. Perfect example, and I can completely agree. Learning the skill of sales calls and going high ticket can print money even if you don't have a big audience. Then you want to productize solutions. So you basically do whatever you want, and when you learn something, you make content about it, and when you solve a problem, you productize the solution and sell it. That's it. When you solve a problem, you look back and you think, how did I solve that problem? You package it up in a neat, simple way, and you share it, and you charge money for that. That's how you make money. It's very simple. And what you're doing here is you're spending 10,000 hours solving a problem. Then you're spending 100 hours packaging up the solution of that problem so that other people can consume it in 1 hour and solve the problem that took you initially 10,000 hours to solve in just 1 hour. That's how you add value. You compress the time frame that it takes for people to reach your goals by you eating the customer's complexity. There's a really good book called The Everything Store by Jeff Bezos, and he talks about how he really wanted to have one-click purchases on Amazon. And this was really difficult. It cost him millions of dollars, and he had to find the best engineers in the world because this technology didn't exist at the time. But he spent those millions of dollars and months of time to try and get this one-click button so that his customers didn't have complexity and they could just buy with simplicity. He ate his customers' complexity. And that's what you want to be doing as a synthesizer. You want to be doing the hard work and then making it easier for the people behind you to get to where you are now. Naval says the success formula is to solve your own problems and freely share the solutions. And if you do this, you will make money. If you follow this process for a year, money will come to you. It's very difficult. You'd have to be doing something very weird for money not to come to you. If you follow this process, it works. It's done very well for me. I've seen it work. I've met hundreds of people that are doing this exact same thing, and it just works if you're the best version of yourself. So the ethical disclaimer at the end is no ugly money. And I say beautiful money because most people make little money. Some people make lots of money, but very few people make beautiful money. Beautiful money is money that derives from you pursuing your life's work, and money that when given to you, people are very happy. So people don't regret giving you the money. And this channel is dedicated to helping you reach financial freedom through the internet. So click subscribe if you think that this video was good and you want to see more videos like this. Because if you click subscribe, the algorithm will see that and they'll put more videos like this onto the homepage. And I'll see you in the next one.